Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Tonight, we're looking really at a long list of games that are used through numerous nonprofits, some from actual video game companies, and we're going to look at what are their contributions to teaching personal finance. Again, as Amanda said, my name is Zach Arms. I am a social studies teacher at Liberty High School in Pickens County. It is getting very chilly here. It is 6 p.m. and it is dark outside, which it was pretty daylight 2 days ago. So we are definitely getting into the holiday season. We obviously know that if you looked up the research, there are a ton of articles talking about game-based learning in any subject that you teach, and just the numerous benefits that you can see. I saw a study today talking about the Montessori school and how they saw that it might take a couple hundred times repetition with students and with children to learn a new concept or to connect a schema. But if you use game-based learning, it knocks that down to like 10 to 20 repetition. Game-based learning is a great way to motivate your students, and it is a great way to connect real life principles with what they are learning in the classroom. So hopefully by the end of this, you're able to look at these 12 games and how can I use this to teach personal finance, and how can I use this to teach my standards. We're going to go through 12 of the games. This is going to be kind of a mix up. Instead of me just talking the whole time, I'm going to go through the games, talk about the pros of them, how you can use them in your classroom. And then I'm actually going to give you about 20 minutes toward the end of this to actually explore these games, play them, and then we're going to come back for a wrap up to see what games you liked, what you think might be helpful, and just to bounce ideas off of each other so that we can all start using these awesome resources in our classroom. We're going to look through two categories. There are free games that we have. Some of these you may have already seen, especially if you teach econ or government. Some you may have not, and some that are paid. And we're going to do very quick, go over them very quickly. And we're going to see some ideas about what you might be able to do to get funding for them. The first one is, if you have done anything with SE Economics in the past 5 years, you've obviously heard of NextGen, right? NextGen is a fantastic website that is perfect for math games, as well as finance, business, and economics. And we'll just briefly look over some of these games. They are constantly adding games as well. The classic ones, it would be Money Magic with budgeting. My seniors have loved that game because you're taking over this magician's his gameplay and his show business, and you're trying to get him to Las Vegas. And in that, you have to really look at the budgeting for his business, how much money is he making, and so on. Payback is another great one. I think we talked about it in a minute. Stacks with investing, Credit Clash, Spent, we'll look at that as well. So these are just awesome games that they're adding, and they're adding more every single time. If you look at the very bottom, there's a brand new game called Terms and Conditions, which is just talking about reading through all of this legal jargon to make sure that what you're signing up for isn't going to hurt you in the future. Like I was saying, Payback, this is an awesome game because there's a scholarship component to this. We've actually had students at Liberty High School win $500 that they're going to put toward their books or to wherever they need to their freshman year. And that is, it's a super easy scholarship. Basically, you play the game where you are going throughout your college career, trying to see how much money college costs, how much in loans you need, can you actually afford it, and then most importantly, can you pay your loans back? So you're learning about paying for college, then you're going to write a simple paper about what did you learn through the game, then you would submit it for your students. This is an awesome way for your students to make money while learning how to spend money. Spent is a great game for those trying to teach empathy. When I played this game, it really stuck out to me. If you're teaching English or ELA, when you are looking at all these novels about poverty, especially if you're looking at a Charles Dickens novel, this is a great way to have your students connect this empathy, this concept of living paycheck to paycheck with some of those characters that you might see in these novels. So this would be perfect for finance and econ. This would also be perfect for, like I said, ELA. Essentially, you are a single parent. You choose a job and you have to raise a child below the poverty line. And it goes through an entire month. You have to make financial decisions. And it's really showing students, what is it like for some families in our country, and especially in our communities, especially here at Liberty, being a Title I community. What are some of our families having to go through? And what can we do to make better financial decisions to try to help relieve some of this pressure? Financial football is a very fun one. I actually teach econ with a football coach here. It's his first time. He did this session with me. He heard financial football and he immediately went to it. And now I think his students play it every week. It is a very high definition game. It looks just like Madden. You pick your favorite NFL team. You pick someone you're going against. You can play against another student. You can play against the computer. And then the way you do it is you have a set of plays that you pick. And the plays can either be like a run, can be a pass, play action, all of that. And the way you get better plays is if you answer harder personal finance questions. If you answer them correctly, the play goes successfully. If it doesn't go if you answer it wrong, you're going to get some penalties or the defense might sack you, things like that. Again, it's very high definition. The kids love it because it's like they're playing Madden in school. And this is just a great way to connect, especially your athletes, these concepts of personal finance while playing this game. This would be great for finance and economics with the new standards. This would be great for any life skills classes or family consumer sciences, because it's going over things like budgeting for a family, emergency expenses, credit card debt, all of those things. And as always, perfect for your football and sports fans. This next one, if you do any type of personal finance project where you're having your student look up a salary and then they have to like learn how to live off of that salary based off of a career they're choosing, this would be a great kind of a pregame for that, because they're essentially doing the same thing. This is called Claim Your Future. It's from the Finance Authority of Maine, and it is the exact same thing we're doing in our classes, where they're going to choose their career with their salary. Then they have to make all of these personal finance decisions. Where are they going to live? Are they going to have roommates? Are they buying a brand new car, a used car? How are they paying for that? What is the loans that they're going to get? How much are they spending for groceries? How much are they going to spend on their health insurance? All of this stuff that's having students actually look at a career they're interested in and how do they live off of that career. Again, perfect for personal finance econ classes. If you're having math skills, this would be perfect, especially with algebra, when you are trying to look at how much will this cost, how much can I afford to spend using my budget, and again, life skills and family consumer science. This is more so for our government folks. iCivics is if you've never heard of it, it is a civics-based gaming website, kind of like how NextGen is for personal finance. This was founded by Sandra Day O'Connor, and this is Sandra Day O'Connor. She created this to help kids learn more about civics and how our government works in a game-based format. This is county's work, and this is a very elaborative game where you are becoming an administrator or a leader of your county or your district or whatever you want to name it, and you are making all of these decisions, like, we want to update how we pay taxes. We want to pay taxes online now. All right, well, we have this much in our budget. Let's spend it so we can pay online. We want to build a brand new ballpark for our community. All right, we need to save this much money so we can go. We want to build a brand new park. Well, we can't afford that. So let's look at taxes. Do we need to increase our monthly property taxes to do that? And it's a very elaborative game that lets students, wear the shoes of a local government official, and B, have to practice things such as percentages, how taxes work, and budgeting and loans. This is awesome if you're trying to teach personal finance in any kind of government aspect. So government history, social studies, those history classes. Again, math skills, we're looking at a ton of percentages. How do we get those percentages? How much does that mean we're going to pay? things like that. And then of course, finance. If you teach geography, or if you're still trying to find those games that's helping teach empathy, especially for countries or communities that are outside of South Carolina, you might want to look at Third World Farmer. In Third World Farmer, you are the head of a family of farmers in an impoverished country, and you have to make decisions about your family and about your farm to make money so you survive the year. This is can be anything to, are we going to have another child this year? Are we going to kick out our 18-year-old son to make him go get a job in the city? Are we going to allow the military to use some of our land for training and they pay us? Well, what crops are we going to plant this year to sell? Okay, our corn just had a fungus and all our corn got killed. How are we going to afford to live the next year? This is great for those situational learning of how do these people actually survive. And this is awesome for our budgeting, for our family planning, and then again, those geography, civics, sociology, how do those people actually live? So that's a great way to teach that. If I'm going too fast, feel free to tell me in the chat. Next is Stop Disasters. This is great for even environmental science. Going back to geography, you are the emergency preparedness coordinator for a certain area around the world, and you check what natural disaster do you want to use. You can pick a tsunami, pick a tornado, hurricane, forest fire, earthquake, and essentially you're given a budget. You need to do two things. You need to first educate your citizens as to what they need to do when this disaster strikes, and B, you need to add things that's going to try to prevent as much damage from this disaster as possible. If you're in an earthquake, you might want to invest in upgrading the buildings. If you're doing tsunamis, you might want to plant trees around the coastline so that the trees block some of the waves. And this is just a great way for students to see how are these natural disasters, how do they impact communities, what do they look like, and how can we budget this money to try to prevent them, and what decisions do we need to make that we think are going to be the best. They're going to have to make tough decisions. Maybe we can't save every single building, but we can educate the public as well. So that's a great one as well. So those are all our free games that we're going to go over. These next ones we're going to go through very quickly because they do cost money. They obviously cost money. They're paid for play games. The ways you can do this is talk to your building administration about money. Some schools have STEM funding and technology funding set aside for things such as this. You can also research grants. There are a ton of grants that help support STEM learning as well as video game learning and personal finance, and district funding as well. The project I'm about to show you guys that I've done here was 100% funded by our district by our STEM learning funds. And of course, if you've never heard of SC Jumpstart, they have these awesome $500 mini grants that are super easy to apply for. And I have the link coming up if you want to get more information from that. First, if you went to the finance forum a couple weeks ago, this is called Knowledge Matters. Amanda, Jim, who is Knowledge Matters with now? I think that was just updated.
Jim, I'm not sure the answer to that. Do you have that?
I think I'll think of it before the end of this.
Okay.
It just doesn't jump out at me.
Awesome. Knowledge Matters was here at the finance forum. My family consumer science teacher in my building went this past week, and she fell in love with these games. They have a series of simulations from personal finance to operating a business, operating a fashion line, running a concert venue, a sports team, all of this stuff. And your students are getting these finance skills while operating a business or their own kind of like the Sims personal finance life. This is perfect for our personal finance econ classes. If you teach marketing or management, this would be great for that because it's just so elaborative, as well as the sports. If you teach sports tourism, if you teach sports marketing and media, hospitality and tourism, which is like one of the top 3 industries in the state, this is perfect for teaching those skills in a fun way.
Hey, Zach, I did recall what it was. It's e-dynamic learning.
Yes.
Has merged with it, and it's all one and the same. But the name you'll see is e-dynamic learning. But I think they've taken on Knowledge Matters.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So it's e-dynamics, and I'll be sure to go in the link or the document I'm about to hand out. I'll be sure to go back and change that link. But it is e-dynamics, Knowledge Matters, and through the virtual business. All right, this next one is my personal favorite because we're actually using this at Liberty. We created a brand new course called Fundamentals of Agriculture Economics, where students who are looking at agribusiness for a profession, they're taking a special section of econ. They did that during the first quarter, where they're getting their econ credit, but they're also looking at it through the lens of an agribusiness owner. The second quarter was an elective course we created. It's called the Practicum of Agribusiness. They have 3 parts of it. They have work-based learning, they have a capstone project, and in the middle of it, they have Farming Simulator. Farming Simulator is a very popular farm management game where the students actually learn how to operate all of the equipment in it, as well as how to make different business decisions. They're doing things like taking out loans, looking at how do loans work, how much are the interest rates, to the markets, supply and demand. What's going on with the price of cotton? What's going on with the price of corn, with wool? And they get to make all of these decisions. They can plant wheat, they can plant barley, they can do forestry, they can do all livestock. It is a very elaborative game that students are going to learn these finance skills. If you or one of your coworkers teach ag science or ag mech, or if you're an econ credit or econ teacher who's like me and loves agriculture and grew up with it, please feel free to reach out to me and I can give you more information about how we use this. We use STEM funding. We got a brand new video game lab created with brand new gaming PCs, and these bad boys right here. These are the Logitech heavy, I think they call it the heavy duty bundle, where they can actually operate the machinery using that. Students love it. They love doing it every single day. It gets them motivated, and it gets them motivated to learn all these finance skills about budgeting and how to operate their own agribusiness. Roller Coaster Tycoon, I'm sure we've had plenty of people here who have played it before. Even this is going to teach those budgeting and those loan, how to do a loan and how to operate a business things as well. This is perfect for our finance and econ, marketing management, hospitality, tourism, even our physics teacher. If you are trying to teach personal finance through physics, this would be a great way to do this. And it's not that expensive either. Essentially, you might talk about G-forces and roller coasters, and you might actually have them create their own roller coasters using Roller Coaster Tycoon. Within this game, students open up their own theme parks and they have to operate it to make sure they don't run out of money or go out of business. So this is a great paid game that's going to teach your students these skills. A more modern game, but kind of the same concept, is Planet Zoo. Just like Roller Coaster Tycoon, you're operating your own zoo, got to make money, make sure you are doing things where you're hiring a staff, making sure you are doing all those things. You're feeding your animals. Your animals aren't upset, or else you'll get protesters. So all of these financial decisions they have to make. This is perfect for all of those management classes as well. Even biology and environmental science. This game goes very much into how do we treat these animals? How do we treat these diseases they might have? How do we research them? What environments do they live in? What other animals can they live with? That kind of thing. So this is a great way to sneak in personal finance and these financial skills with classes, even as environmental science and biology. This next one might be the biggest stretch, but there are some good things about this for personal finance. MLB The Show, if you're a big fan of this game, they have what's called franchise mode, where you take over a baseball MLB organization, and you have to do everything from contracts to how much are the peanuts going to be at the ballpark. This is a great way to do these business management and these financial plans, as well as hospitality, tourism, sports management, and getting those sports lovers back motivated into your content. So those are all of the paid for games. This QR code goes to a Google Doc that has links to all these games. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to look through some of these games, play some on your own, look through the paid games, and then we'll get back. It is 6:21. I think about 6:35. We will, thank you, Amanda. She just posted it in the chat as well. About 6:35, we will come back, discuss what games we enjoyed, and then kind of do a wrap up. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, or you can put the question in the chat as well. All right, guys, we'll give you about 2 minutes left. Let's try to find a stopping point. All right, so we're already seeing a lot of good conversation happening in the chat. If you want to real quick type what game you played, if you liked it, what did you like about it, what did you not like about it, give you a minute to go ahead and type all that out.
I lost the hook to the earring.
It's right on the ground.
Yeah.
In your clothes.
That's that one that keep falling off anyway.
I'm gonna take this one out because it irritates the hell.
I can plug into your car.
Spent, I think, would definitely have them engaged in realizing that when they say they're grown, they're not.
Absolutely.
That's a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree, because a lot of times even now when they get paid, they don't think about, saving for an emergency. They just look at, I got $300 this week, I'm spending it all.
Mhm.
And thankfully, most of them are in situations where they can splurge, but still just teaching them the simple fact of putting a few dollars back every pay period.
Definitely. And it does show them that just because you have money doesn't mean you don't have obligations you need to get rid of first, right? Yeah, definitely. Spin is such a great game because it is so eye-opening. I will say, if you have some of these games that seem to be blocked from your district, there should be either a format, like if your district uses securely, there is like a link you click on to request access, or you can email someone at your ITS department to help you with that. I had a couple of these games blocked as well. I emailed them and they were able to get them unblocked for my students in the same day.
I was interested in was that the farmer? I can't remember the name of it.
Third World Farmer.
Third World Farmer.
Mhm.
And I teach in a semi-rural area. So I think that one would definitely be good, because I know we have an agricultural department, class at our career center. So just kind of showing mine that side of it as well, I think would be good.
Definitely. Payback's a great one. Stop disasters is very challenging because you're graded solely on how many people survive the disaster. Anyone else? Thank y'all for the awesome feedback and awesome comments. Yeah, the cool thing about Next Gen is the games with Uber, like the Uber game. And even I just saw that they have like a brand new game talking about being like an influencer and how to, I'm sure you might have had people like students talk about being an influencer, or might maybe be doing like TikTok dances or talking about influencers. They have a brand new game about how you survive like being that and how to get that money. So it's very up-to-date games that connect to your students like that, like the Uber game. So it is very up-to-date, and it's showing them like today terms and like current trends and how to be financially savvy using those trends. I think it is just called the influencer game. If you go to the Next Gen link, it is right there on the top left that says a brand new game. Let me know if you can't find it. All right, well, awesome. Thank y'all so much for playing, for giving us some of this great conversation. This was an awesome time to spend with you guys, and if you keep having all of these ideas, these conversations, please make sure you're passing them along to your colleagues as well, because even as we said, with the holidays coming up, oh, one sec, hit the sensor of my ring. There it goes. Sorry about that. As we're getting up to the holidays and you might be getting stressed out, or you might not be having time, or you just need a break, as every single student or every single teacher needs. A lot of these games from these websites have lesson plans that match with them. So you're still giving awesome content, you're still being great teachers, and you're also taking care of yourself as well. And you're giving that motivation to your students. So be sure you're spreading these with your colleagues. That way we're just getting these great games into our classrooms. This was a part of the South Carolina Financial Literacy Master Teacher Program. As Amanda said, I am a member of cohort 1, and this is probably one of the best programs I've done in my career. You learn so much about the importance of financial literacy. The State Treasurer's Office makes you feel like a rock star the entire time. And if you have not considered this, I would strongly encourage you to take a moment to think about this. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, or you can stay on. You can ask me in the chat. You can ask me through voice. Just let me know. And Amanda, this still counts, right? Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome. So because this is through the Financial Literacy Master Teacher Program, up to 10 teachers can get the $100 stipend if you use evaluation, reflection, and evidence. Essentially, you're going to fill out that Google form to show them how did you use a game from tonight's session in your classes, and how did you show student learning through that. The link to this is in the support document that I sent out. That's how you got the links to all the games. Make sure before you leave tonight, please make a copy of that. So not only do you have the link to get your money, but you also have all of these games saved for you. That link will be there permanently, so you can always get back to it. But just in case you can't find the link, or something happens through my school district and my Google Docs, just make sure you make a copy of that. So yeah, and just basically these are the same, talking about the same thing. And the Google form really goes into that detail if you've never done it before. So that's it for tonight. Thank y'all so much for sticking around, for hanging out, playing some awesome games. Let me know if you have any questions.